Hello and welcome to my channel today, Boo Snakes and More. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 weakest alternate versions of Batman. So please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And for more videos like this, watch my other house channel, A&A Snakes and Stuff. My youngest son's channel, Henny's Toys and Games, or my oldest son's channel, Little Kristen. Now let's dive into the video. For a hero that doesn't have any actual superpowers of his own, Batman is one of the most powerful characters in comics. From his intelligence and training, he is the world's greatest detective after all. To his technology and his gadgets, Batman can hold his own against just about anyone, and he's a hero most villains really don't want to go toe-to-toe with. But why? Batman is a force to be reckoned with. There are actually different versions of the hero, and not all of them are quite as powerful. In some cases, there are people who have taken up the Batman mantle at various points when the real deal was out of commission. In other cases, you're dealing with outright alternate versions of the character or previous intentions that are just different enough that they seem weak in comparison to the contemporary Batman we know and love. Here are 5 of the weakest versions of Batman in comics. They all have their strengths, but none of them stand up to the Dark Knight of today. Number 5, Bat-Zaro. If Superman can have his own strange opposite version of himself with Bizarro, it stands to reason that Batman could and would have his own as well. Enter Bat-Zaro, properly first appearing in Superman/Batman number 20 in 2005. Bat-Zaro's origins aren't specifically known, though it's supposed that he was created in a similar fashion as Bizarro, residing in a strange, backwards version of the Dark Knight, calling himself the world's worst detective. Bat-Zaro is pretty much the worst, where Batman is quiet. In a few words, Bat-Zaro is loud. Where Batman refuses to use guns, Bat-Zaro embraces them, even going so far as to gun down couples walking down Crime Alley in a dark reverse of Batman's actual origin story. While one could argue that Bat-Zaro has some physical power, paralysis and natural power, his backwards thinking, lack of any real detective skills, and his loyalty to injustice rather than justice makes him not only a terrible alternate version of Batman, but also one of the weakest. He's not particularly intelligent and is more chaotic than anything else. You definitely do not want him on your side. Number 4, Jim Gordon's Batman. First appearing in Batman number 41, former police commissioner Jim Gordon took up the Batman mantle via an armored robotic mock suit in the Super Heavy arc. After it appeared that both the Batman and the Joker had perished in Batman Endgame, nicknamed the Rookie, the Super Heavy Batsuit gives Gordon a lot of power as Batman, including things like cloaking and plenty of weapons like tear gas launchers. However, the suit was a heavy, complicated piece of armor but that wasn't the biggest issue. Jim Gordon lands as one of the weakest alternate versions of Batman because he simply doesn't have the training and instincts that Bruce Wayne's Batman has. And those are things that all of the armor, gadgets, and technology in the world cannot make up for. Without the unique qualities that make Batman a force to be reckoned with, even in his armor, Jim was nearly killed by some regular run-of-the-mill street criminals, proving that Batman is much more than his stuff. Number 3, John Paul Valley's Batman. To be very clear, no one is saying that John Paul Valley is weak. Physically, he's a very powerful character and is intelligent as well, which makes it understandable why he would stand in for Batman after the hero's defeat by Bane. But power is not defined by physical attributes alone. The mind and mental health matters too, and that's why John Paul Valley lands on a list of the weakest alternate versions of Batman. Not only does John Paul decides that Bruce's tactics as Batman are outdated, so he takes it upon himself to be far more brutal, but there's also the whole issue of his conditioning. Arizonial conditioning. John Paul's Batman grows more and more unstable, violent, and even delusional because of his Arizonial conditioning. It leads him to become more of a problem for the Bat family, as well as the police, causing more issues than he is able to solve. His descent into madness makes him unpredictable and a liability when it comes to being Batman. Number 2, Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. The Algogram universe is a fascinating one, giving readers fresh takes on iconic characters in a fun, what-if sort of scenario, where the DC characters and Marvel characters existed in the same universe. That means that the Amonga universe does have their own version of Batman, a figure known as Darkclaw, but that isn't Bruce Wayne. It's a mashup of Batman and Wolverine, largely in costume alone, with Logan behind the mask. As for the man who is Batman in the popular DC universe, Bruce Wayne is an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Amonga universe instead. It's a swap that fits, and no one would argue that this version of Bruce Wayne isn't great, and that his intellect and S.H.I.E.L.D. training make him formidable. But part of Batman's strength is that, as Batman and not necessarily part of a formal organization, Batman is able to operate by his own rules, not to mention his real cool gadgets. That's not the case with this version of Bruce, and why no one would want to be on Amonga, Bruce's bad side. Take away the Batman part of the equation, and you just have a really interesting super spy of sorts. Number 1, Golden Age Batman. We love Golden Age Batman. He's the version of the character that started it all. When he arrived in Detective Comics number 27, picking up the cape and crown, when Bruce Wayne vowed to end crime in Gotham City, Golden Age Batman gave us lots of adventures as he took on the bad guys in his efforts to clean up his city, and the character was a key component in making DC what it is today. That said, Golden Age Batman operated very differently than the contemporary version of the characters. His access to technology was very different, and if you were to pit this version of Batman against the current one in a fight, it's a fight that wouldn't even be fair. Batman has come a long way since his debut, but the original version just doesn't have the power later versions boast. What do you think? Leave a comment below, and thank you for watching, and peace out till the next one.